Hello, and happy Monday. It's the start of another week, and I just want to hop on here today to give some words of encouragement. I've encountered multiple people this week that have been going through trials, and they're all sorts of different trials, and it's just astonishing to see the amount of people that are going through something. And so today I want to speak a word of truth. One of my favorite Bible verses is Isaiah 41:10, and this one is basically tells us not to fear and not to be dismayed, for I am the Lord your God. And that alone just speaks volumes. And he tells us in his word not to be dismayed, not to fear. And he gives us, on the next statement, he gives us his word of truth. I will give you strength, and I will uphold you and help you. And it's a Bible verse that I have shared with many in the past when I feel the Spirit tugging at me and letting me know that it's an appropriate situation. And again, I see a lot of people at work that are, vulnerable and weak and sick, and sometimes fighting for their lives. And so I think I'm placed in the right area of my life as a physician assistant to be able to provide a sense of encouragement to these people and to help remind them that they don't fight alone. And the word of encouragement for today is that of Isaiah 41:10. He's going to uphold us with his righteous hand, and we have to put our trust in him. Trusting God is something that a lot of people have trouble with. It's so easy to trust him when things are good, and it's when life is good, everything's good. We know there's a God. We know that he's out there, and he's doing things for our good. But when things get heavy, that's when it's really difficult for a lot of people to answer the questions as to why am I encountering this trial. It could be a sickness, temporary sickness that knocks you down for a couple of days, which we see often here at my job, or it could be something that is more terminal, such as metastatic cancer, or some kind of disease that you have to live with, like a chronic disease you have to live with and manage for the rest of your life that you get diagnosed with. Or it could be a divorce that you're going through. Your marriage is falling apart. It may seem like there is no other way at the moment, and you've tried and exhausted all of your resources to try to make the situation work, and no matter what you do, it only seems to be dug deeper. It could be your finances. You're in a situation where you don't have a job, or you have one and you're not happy in the situation that you're in. And it may seem that no matter what you do, something breaks down. You fix something and the next thing is broken, and no matter what you do, this hole keeps getting deeper and deeper. The list can go on as far as what people are encountering. I know I've recently, I was a victim of this, but I've also encountered other people this week that have also expressed their significant I don't want to call it an obsession, but concern over their figure. It's real. And I know in my last post, I mentioned, you want to lose those 10 pounds. And for some people, it's a small amount, but for others, it's a very real problem. And, to the point where obtaining a certain amount of or a certain stage and certain appearance in your life as far as fitness goes really can be detrimental to other relationships in your life, because you feel like you're not enough or worthy of whatever it may be. And so all of these things, you can begin to look at your body. I know some people begin to look at their body as, one thing happens and then another thing, it's another organ, and then I'm here again with another organ. And so it can seem just, it's like an unsurmountable, situation for you. And I'm here to tell you that you do not fight alone. God reminds us in James 1:12 that those who do persevere under trial and stand the test of time will receive the crown of life. Now, these trials, I don't have an answer as to why they're happening, because God only knows. And some of them are not brought on, by God. There are things that happen to us, and it's important to understand and really just take a step back and find peace that these things are not happening to us. They are simply just happening, and no one is per se targeting us. And it's easy for you to get stuck in the mindset of, well, everyone else seems to be, here, and everyone else seems to be getting their promise a lot faster than I am, and I'm stuck in this situation and I just can't get out. It's very easy to get stuck in that mindset, and I like to call it the victim mentality. I have done a lot of reading on that, because I can say that having that victim mentality is ruining your life, and you don't know that you have the victim mentality. Like, I don't know how to say this, but I personally never thought I've had the victim mentality, but I had a rude awakening about 3 years ago, and my life changed. And so and it was for the better. So if you feel like you're constantly being judged, if you feel like you're constantly, everyone else is doing better than you, if you have those thoughts of negativity, I'm here to tell you that they are a lie. And it is either society or social media or honestly just the enemy trying to fill your mind with lies that, look at your God. He has you stuck in this situation. Why hasn't he bailed you out? You have been giving him this prayer for years. Why has he not giving you a baby? You have been, and like pleading to God for, you to be healed, yet you still have your cancer. I mean, the list goes on, and these lies infiltrate your mind and ruin your relationship with God. And there is a verse that I like. I'm sorry, my mind went blank. But if you continue to pray, and persevere with prayer. Like, prayer is powerful. There's so many Bible verses that God says, seek and you shall find, pray. You just have to pray about it and he will answer it according to his will. There's always that small, I guess, disclaimer that it has to be according to his will. And in a certain time, went back when Jesus was on earth and he was with his disciples. I know they had a lot of questions about his plan, about his will, and about what was going to come. And a lot of the times he left them in ambivalence and gave very vague answers, and would just answer with the word soon. And we are stuck in that scenario because we cannot see ahead as to what's there for us. But what I have noticed is, in all of my readings that I've been doing and gathering, is that God has, his plan has such intricate detail. And I'm here to just give you that kind of power and motivation to know that whatever situation you're in, it's hard to do, but I can guarantee you and let you know that there is a plan to this. And he will let it come to pass according to his will. Now, whatever you're going through, it doesn't affect just you. So if you're going through a trial, whether it be a cancer, whether it be a divorce, whether it be financial ruin, or just, overcoming the obsession of a certain addiction. God has a plan for that. And like, so the enemy may, I can say that the enemy may try to, let's say, taunt you, if you're suffering from addiction, taunt you with the situations that may bring you back to that substance. But God is going to turn around and use it for good. You just have to give him your life, and you have to surrender to him. He loves you, and he's waiting for you to open the door. He's waiting for you. And I can say that if you've been praying for 3 years, pray for another 3. Faith is not faith until it's tested. And if you give up right when you're in the middle of it, you're not going to see what's going to come out of it. And you're right there. There's a reason why you're right there. And I haven't shared this before, but I'm going to do so quickly. I last year had been, and it's rather personal, but I had been, it was a routine exam, and I was noted to have some abnormalities, and noted to have some masses. I went to get them checked, as we should, and as the tech was doing my ultrasound, I left the place completely distraught, because I know how, what certain things look like on ultrasounds, and I have learned how to decipher them. I see ultrasounds at work myself, and so I knew what was being seen was not normal automatically. So I walked out of there and as soon as I got in my car, I had tears in my eyes and knew that it was not going to be a good report. Fast forward, my primary care doctor messaged me later, he wanted me to get an oncology referral. And it scared me, because nobody wants to hear those words. And I get emotional because of the fear that I felt at the moment. But I prayed so hard, and I didn't pray for healing. That's what I found amazing, is that I prayed for, I surrendered the situation immediately. And I asked God, if this is what you want me to walk through, I'm here. But I'm afraid, and I don't know how I'm going to take care of my children, or continue to work, or pay my bills if I have to not work. Granted, we have disability insurance, etc., but your mind still goes there, because the expenses that come with having that type of problem are insane, as you can imagine. And so, to make a long story short, I surrendered the situation. I gave it to God completely, and I let him know that I was there to follow the situation I was in and make the best out of it. And that whatever he wanted if he wanted to use me in that situation to work for him and bring others to him, or whatever it was that he was planning on doing, I was there for it all. But that I just asked him for help to get me through it, because I was afraid of my family and what it was going to do to us. And so I quickly got online, made an appointment, and I can say that this was at 11 p.m. when I got the notice from my doctor. And I can say that it was 8 a.m. when I got a call from MD Anderson, ready to get my details. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but I had it. But I was just amazed at how fast I got that appointment. And they got me in. I was in there by the next week, or within a couple days. And I had all the testing that I needed to get done. I took all of my records from here to there. And when I got the mammogram done, they pulled me back into the room maybe 2 or 3 times. And I didn't know what was going on. then I got to the next study, and they continued to repeat certain images and certain tests. And the radiologist came out herself, which I don't know if that's a custom at MD Anderson, but here in the Valley, I don't think I've ever seen the radiologist actually come into the room to do the ultrasound. It's usually just the tech. And so she came out and she did the ultrasound herself, and she told me, I cannot see the masses that were in your exam. And she couldn't find them. I'm getting very emotional, but I am, because I don't know what that was, but I know that I saw them when the ultrasound was being done. I know they're on the report. I know that I was referred to an oncologist, and I know that the masses then, they were not described as cysts. And so it was a very powerful experience. And as a healthcare provider, initially, I told myself, well, they must have done something wrong. Maybe I just got all this done for no reason and everything was fine. But I'm not going to take God's glory away from that, because the fear was real, and the appointments were real, and the fact that they kept repeating the imaging was real, and the fact that the radiologist came out here and told me that she couldn't find them herself was real. And so I experienced that in my life, and it taught me that we are here on earth to serve a greater purpose. I know on my last video I mentioned some things are just extra. The basic necessities in life is our family, the fact that we have a home, the fact that we have, etc. So everything else is just extra. And I just want to reiterate that today, that your family is your number one blessing. What you have in life is enough. And that if you're going through something, whether it be addiction, whether it be divorce, whether it be all the things I mentioned above, I want to open up, hopefully, a new perspective for you, that have introduced God into your life and surrender that hardship to God. Give it to him. Don't be dismayed. He's going to uphold you. He will give you the right resources. He will make things happen. He will open doors. He is the provider, the healer. He is good. And so I just want to encourage you to continue to pray. And I say that a lot of my patients, I see them, and I love them so much, and I see that they only pray for healing, and then they get disappointed because God does not give them healing. And there is more to pray than just for healing. Yes, praying for healing is good, but I feel like if you just surrender the situation, whether he heals you or not, he has something for you planned. And I wasn't supposed to share that today. I had no intention of sharing that experience. So I'm more than certain this message is for somebody. But I just, that's what I leave you with. I leave you with knowing, there's a lyric on the song by Brandon Lake that says, don't lose your hope, don't lose your faith, because that's where your fight is. Okay? Your fight is in your faith. Plain and simple. Your fight is in your faith. Surrender it and trust in God, and he will show you the rest. So I hope that this touches you, and if you know of anybody going through a hardship, that this brings some light to your situation, that we clear. I'm going to just close out in prayer. Lord, I want to pray for that person today that has that victim mindset, God, that has that victim mindset of why they're going through what they're going through, and that you've abandoned them and that they feel alone. And Lord, I pray for them so that they could have clarity in their mind, and that you show them the way, Lord. I pray that they have the strength to surrender it all to you, God. That they just fall on their knees and surrender this situation to you, because you are great and you can make it happen. Lord, I pray for that person. I pray for that person today. May they see your light. May they see your love, and may they trust in your faithfulness and your goodness. I know that you've done it before so many times. In the book of John, at the moment that I'm reading, you start to reveal your signs and wonders to others so that they can believe, God. And you are a great God, and you've done it before, and you can do it again. You will continue to move mountains, all according to your will, God, and we just have to trust it. We have to trust it and obey. In your Jesus' name, God, we pray, and we are so thankful for everything that you've done and blessed us with. Amen. You'll have a wonderful Monday. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing week. And my heart goes out to you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Again, if you know anyone that could benefit from this word, please share.